Afternoon, everybody. Whoever is watching this later, retrospectively. Hope you're all right. I've managed to grab an early finish. Done a little cheeky one. Like the milk tray man. I went in on my speedboat. I've done what I got to do. Got off their boat. Jumped on a jet ski and I was out of there. So hello guys. I've only been on 2 minutes. I'm talking crap already. How you doing? Not seeing anyone on yet. Not seeing them numbers change. Still on 0. Oh, we've got one. We've got one. There's going to be a hell of a lot of people that don't get notifications, so I'm expecting that in the comment section. Hello, for all those who have joined. How you doing? Hey, oh, one's just dropped off. Not having it. Yes, Casey. How you doing? You're good. The thumbnail to this stream is not really relative to what I'm going to be talking about, but I kind of wanted to mention both things really. Yes, Joel, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's wait for more to jump on. There we go. I'm okay, Casey. Thank you very much. Looking forward to a weekend off. Well, I'm working tomorrow, but I've got an afternoon off. A few jobs to do. Yes. Hello, another view. G Cuts. How you doing? Jonathan. Mate, I've just had an early finish. I've gone in and I've boxed it like a ninja. I've gone in all stealth, done my plot, glossed it out, shut the door and ran. And I'm buzzing. So I thought, I've got Friday off. Now, I've got a few jobs to do. There's things I want to talk about, and it's so difficult because I have 101 ideas. Hello, Rose. Yes, Rose, this is your inspiration, this stream. So if anything goes wrong or right in this stream, it's all thanks to Rose. Thank you for your research, Rose. You are a star. But no, there's plenty of videos, there's plenty of ideas. I have idea spurts all the time. The problem I have is bloody finding the time to do it. Because what I really need to do, I need to be sat on a mountaintop with internet connection, with nothing but candles, sat in a circle, not doing anything ritualistic, but just being on my own for 24 hours of the day, because that's what I'd need in order to put the time in that is needed to do all the videos I think about. And it really frustrates me because in a way, I have that many ideas in certain aspects that I don't carry out probably 80–90% of them. And it is frustrating, even with people like Rose, who I often have lengthy conversations with, The Bugle, Yvonne, Janaea, all types of people I often, and with the things that they say sometimes, because they crystallize it in such a way, I'm like, shit, there's a video. And I'll often say it to these people, like, you know what you just said there, it's just give me an idea for a video. And more often than not, I get home and I just realise I haven't got time because I'm probably working on something, I'm doing this, or, you know, and it gets so bloody annoying. So hello guys, anyway, thank you for jumping on. I hope your Friday is okay. This is, the reason why I've started with this page open is because for me, this is the first week where I felt this. I've felt the effects of this. When I've woke up in the morning, I'm like, I don't want to open my eyes. And it is that, innit? It's the sad disorder. It's the dark, waking up, looking out your pissing window and it's pitch black and you've got to get up And somehow your body's saying, you know what? If it was light, I'd probably have a little bit more gusto, but because it's dark, I'm sluggish. And that really transfers to your brain. And then all of a sudden, you just feel like shit and you don't even want to get up. Now, that might be just me, but I've got a feeling that disorder would not be there unless more people felt like that than me. And that's how I feel with this. And this is the first week that I've had it, and it's doing me head in already. Getting there, man. Yes, Jonathan. Yes, Rose. Oh, what was that? Your sister. My sister has said she suffers really badly. It's not just you. I know enough of you. Honestly, it doesn't do your head in. You know, and when you look at it, right, it's a perfect analogy. It's the dark and the light, innit? It's that battle with the dark and the light. And if anything, just the seasons changing is give you that indication that the dark is there. And the dark, most of the time, makes you feel like crap, doesn't it? Drops your energy. You know what I mean? There's nothing motivating unless you sat 150 stories up on a New York freaking balcony and you're looking at the skyline or something. That's the only time the night time's real. You know what I mean? Dark is dark. And it's that battle with the dark and the light. I feel beautiful when it's summer, when it's spring, the birds going. You know what I mean? I've done streams when the birds are going. And you feel beautiful. You feel a part of something. You feel glad to be alive. And Phil's now rambling because he's now expressing elements of bleeding sad. So I'm not suicidal. All I'm saying is I'm kind of just getting to that point where being pissed off first thing in the morning before I get to the sink to brush my teeth is becoming a regular occurrence. Climate change is natural. Of course it is. Of course it is. It's been doing it for millions of bloody years before we got on this bloody whatever it is. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's another subject. I just wanted to get that sad. Tracy B, my sister says, oh, look, she's going into hibernation. You know what? I'm like that because I felt like that today. I couldn't wait to get home. Metaphorically speaking, I couldn't wait to get on my jet ski and get back to Bleeding Shore. I've got in my house, shut the door, and I'm done. I'm literally done. I still look like crap, still got my work clothes on, still full of paint, still look rough and ragged, not shaved, not done nothing. But I've now got all afternoon to sort that. And I'm going to feel good. But I generally do feel like that, Tracy, and I guess a lot of people do. You kind of enthusiasm for going out just drops. You know what I mean? I don't want to go out in this. Okay, what's going on? Even if it's go to a mate's house, the chances are I'm going to talk myself out of doing it. Just want to get my tootsies on and get a blanket over my lap and probably feel like I'm 80 years of age. And going on that, I was having a conversation with Rose yesterday, and Rose, for the first time, made me feel old because I was having an afternoon nap yesterday, and I tried to ring Rose before I had that nap. Obviously, Rose was busy, so I got on with my nap like you do. And next thing you know, I'm catching flies. Next thing you know, the phone rings. I look, Rose is on the other end. So I expressed to Rose that, you know what I mean, I'm feeling a bit groggy. I've kind of just woke up and I'm having a bit of an afternoon nap. Yes, everyone, thank you. Phil's rambling. It's going on with himself. And Rose actually said, you sound like an old man. You sound like an old man. I am. I'm nearly 50. You know what I mean? I ain't under any illusions, Rose. I ain't going to tell you to feel chipper, feel like 22, because I fucking don't. You know what I mean? So, sorry if you have my little afternoon nappies, and I might need a Zimmer frame to go to the shops every now and then. It's the way it is, isn't it? Try a light box. My sister said it really helps her. You know what? I might do that. I don't even know what it actually is. I take it it's just a box that's emanating light. just to replace it and give you a little bit of a feel-good factor mentally. I guess I need that. We all do, don't we? You know what I mean? I guess you need to cling on to shit that really is going to make you feel positive in these dark times. My God. Right, what Smith said there. Have a mix for a few hours, Phil. Some classic tunes, 87 to 91. G-cuts, you are on my wavelength. That's how you cut out the sad. You drop some fat-ass beats, some low-ass frequencies. I've got no one in the house. All I've got is 2 fish tanks. Even the cats have gone. So, yeah, I think that might be the remedy. My neighbour won't agree with that, but yeah, Tracy, I'd love to go to the Caribbean. We did plenty of places. Just get out of Dodge for a bit, innit? Warmer climates. Seriously. Up a mountain where it's nice and warm, picturesque, no one around me, no mobile phones, no mad frequencies, dropping me kind of me positivity, nothing at all. I've got some tunes for you, Phil. Yes. Get on it, mate. Get on it. I'm going to try and do some kind of mix, I think, for Christmas. But I know I'm not going to be able to do it on YouTube. It's just no way. The last time I tried to do a mix, albeit the tunes that they play were rather generic, they put a worldwide block on it. They blocked that. And I couldn't believe it. So people only got to see it if they were watching it in real time. And so by the processing stage, that was it done. So it was kind of a wasted exercise. So I'm assuming BitChute is going to be a little bit more liberal. Is that the word? A bit more open. So I'm thinking of maybe compiling a little something, half-an-hour mix or whatever. And maybe over the Christmas period. Same again, look at me. All these ideas. All these bloody ideas. And yeah, so we'll see how it pans out. Thermal underwear, keep warm, it's cold, depressing, boogie warm. Yep. What was that, Tracer? Missed that. So I will get on to the actual point that I'm actually here for in a second. You know me, just spent nearly 30 minutes talking crap. But I hope you're all doing well generally. Hope you're all looking forward to the weekend. If you've got work, get it out of the way, get onto your weekend, get back to what making you feel good. Right, on that note, I'm going to flick this off because I'm not feeling sad anymore. I'm feeling all right. I am feeling all right. Okay, right. This was something Rose and I was talking about in terms of the scale of sexual abuse, historic abuse. Now, we all think, and even, you know, with what I'm doing, I follow closely Rochdale, and Rochdale's very much linked to No View, Cambridge House, and no doubt other institutions that are not as prevalent, at least in the media, for what has happened with abuse over the years. 30, 40, 50, maybe 60 years ago. Who knows when it started, you know what I mean? Could go on and on. Now, this is crazy because this has been a little bit of a light bulb moment. We all know that the abuse is systematic. We know that even the average person has got to concede that they will not truly know the scope of the level of abuse. You love dancing, Tracy B. You know what? So do I. I do. And I love doing a lot of things. But no one really knows the level. And even if you feel you're red-pilled, you know, even with what the brilliant research, what people like Rose are doing, even, you know, Rose will admit, I'm sure there's caverns of information that still knock her for six today. And it's the same with anyone red-pilling. You can't assume that you know it all. The man that knows something knows that he knows nothing at all. So if you start from that premise, then you're going in the right direction in terms of getting information. And for me, I always regard getting information as into walking into a cavern that cavern as a trove of information in there. You grab it, you process it, and then you move to the next thing. The conversation Rose and I were having, it was almost like, right, Rose almost said to me, right, Phil, in terms of sexual historic abuse, I know you've got a fair idea, and don't we all in this movement, but let me show you something that's going to give you the true scope. And it was like she literally, metaphorically speaking, guided me by the hand from the cavern that I was in into a cavern that I could not fucking believe the size of, seriously, in terms of the potential information. Now, when I say that, it hit me like the six, because she sent me this text with a list of all the institutions in England that so far people can ascertain abuse was carried out there. Now, the list that she sent me was only the ones that they can acknowledge. Imagine the ones that have not been acknowledged, right? So she sent this via text, and there was loads. It was all over the country, right? Now, she was saying to me, I got this information via solicitors' websites because they were appealing to survivors to, of sexual historic abuse, maybe grooming, maybe exploitation, kind of different genres and fields within the abuse, in order to get them to come forward, maybe for litigation. I'm not sure what they do on the safeguarding and on the aftercare. Maybe they've got something attached with that. I'm assuming because of the solicitors, it's all about litigation. I don't know how successful they are. I don't know how many people have come forward. This would be interesting. Now, she sent it, and this was an English one. Now, let me give you a little scope. Bear in mind that I haven't even got the time and probably the brain power to fully understand the scope that was going on at Knowlview, going on at Cambridge House, plus what is now turning up from what I'm realising was going on in previous years in Manchester, Holmes, Rose Hill, other little institutions, little borstals, hostels. You know, you just don't want to go in that cavern, do you? You know what I'm saying? And like I say, you can get caught up in, oh, well, Knowlview, which is big. Cyril Smith, yep, it is big. Cambridge House, yes, it is big. All the other abuse that's gone on in, like, the toilets that was in Rochdale opposite the social services, all that kind of stuff. You know, the rent boy stuff that goes on in Manchester. It is all linked. When you really sit and put it all together, you're not just talking Cyril Smith. You're not just talking Jimmy Savile. You're not talking just Rolf Harris, Stuart Hall, Max Clifford, and all the other dirty bastards that have been doing this for years in our faces. We're talking of institutionalized, whether it be allowed, not allowed, whether kids have been procured because of this. Where the mind, honestly, it's infinite where you want to go. Sorry, I missed that comment. I'll have to wait. Hold on. I was in care. It was great. Maybe, I'm not assuming that everyone was in care. Everyone that was in a troubled school had a bad experience. I can't say that. What we can say is that there's been problems over the years, and them problems have left mental scars. Them problems have probably upped the suicide rate. Them problems have probably give the pharmaceutical industry a lot of fucking money, give psychiatrists a lot of business, and then them problems have gone on to facilitate in more abuse, because we do know people that do have been abused. There's a propensity of them that will go on and abuse. Some won't. I haven't got them figures at hand, but we all know that's the case. It will affect different people in different ways. Some will become alcoholics and internal. Some will have total mental issues. Some will just, it's infinite again. Every person is different on how it's going to affect them. And no one's got a license on it. No one's got the right to say this is the textbook on how, because everyone's different. It's a matter of interpretation. It's a matter of how an abused victim interprets the violation that's happened to them, whether it be mental, physical, or whatever it is. It's fucking infinite. Pardon my French. Right, so I'm just reading comments there. I'm assuming you guys are talking to each of us. Right, so let me just see if I can cope me in there without it going. Right, so look at this. And, for all intents and purposes, I might be showing you something that might not shock you, or, you might already know about. It's just like, what are you doing this for, Phil? Like I say, you kind of know this is happening, but when you see it in black and white, I think that's what I'm getting at. It's the seeing it in black and white that's really stark. So you've got England. Can I get a little bit closer to... can I? Oh, I'm not too close here. I'm not too close. Right, let me see here. There we go. Right. I mean, I'm just look at these. Just look at all this. Right, hold on. I need to move the camera over that way because the comments are covering it. You can see my shoes in the back shot as well. Yeah, look, I mean, freaking hell. Hi, Great Brit. You all right, mate? New law coming out that you cannot smack kids even softly. It will mean more kids. Oh, I missed it. Oh, I missed it. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Wonderful parents. Yeah, some are luckier than others, aren't we? Mine, I had good and bad. I had good and bad times with my parents. But in reflection, it's gave me balance. Do I regret my upbringing? No. If I could change certain aspects, yeah, right, I would. But at the same time, I am a lot luckier than a lot of people. At the same time, I know a lot of people that have had an even better life than me. So, when you put yourself in the spectrum, I'm somewhere in there. I'm not at the top, I'm not at the bottom, but at the same time, I've had a bit of both, I guess. So let me just run through some of these. Honestly, I don't know how many survivors have kind of come out about this to these solicitors. I don't know how many survivors have died. Look, Beach Mount there, look. Just goes on and on. How many survivors have not bothered even talking about it? How many survivors have left the country? How many survivors have gone on to abuse? So there's obviously, for these names to be up here, there must be intel. There must be some, look, prison there, look. It just goes on and bleeding on. Some names I recognise, some I don't, because they're in some parts of England or the UK that I've never even been to. I just want to show this just as because what a lot of people do in this movement, a lot of people will assume that sexual historic crimes and abuse, that it's almost, it's not as important as what is going on in terms of initial grooming in the 21st century. And a lot of people will have the mentality that, yeah, there's white paedophiles, but our main problem is the Muslim paedophiles. That's why we need to curtail Islam. That's why we need to shut all mosques down. That's why, in my opinion, Muslims need to be fucking zapped off the earth. And I don't follow that view, and I know a lot of people don't follow that view in here, although there's elements that we have to critique, and I'm not about to backtrack on any of that. There is issues with grooming, but we are all being groomed, and there's still elements of grooming on whether it be white, black, bloody Asian, Middle Eastern, whatever. It happens all over the place. So for me, I don't get too drawn into, right, well, I'm just going to really only follow and support just highlighting Muslim grooming gangs. Now, I'll never forget when I come into this movement, there was a stat that was flying around, and Rose and I and Tony and I have spoke about this plenty of times. I've mentioned it on here plenty of times in regards to the stat that how many towns and cities around the UK have got some form of a grooming issue. And at that time, when I first entered, it was roughly in the late 70s, maybe 80 was the figure that was being branded at that time. And that was a bit of an informational smack. That's something that makes you realize that there is a grooming issue, whether you want to think about it or not to suggest that that's all it's about, but that fact alone tells you something is of an organized level, because it's not just one town, it's not just one council estate, this is all over. So I can imagine why people then just get blinkered and think, right, Muslims, Islam, let's get them out, you know, and radical Islam, all that kind of stuff, we need to fight it, and, you know, I'll always kind of talk about it. Where I'm getting at is when Rose, metaphorically, I've got it right, Rose. Rose has got it up to 103. You did mention that yesterday, Rose. Thank you for reminding me on that. So you can see it's even more prevalent. You can see because of the media. I think the media may be covering it a little bit more, but I don't think they're generally talking about the problem that befits the size of the problem. Personally, I don't think they are. I think there may be some PC in it and all that other kind of stuff, but, you know, there's many issues. They probably don't want to start a panic as well. There'll be an element of that. But balance is balance. This is why this channel will talk about both angles, particularly with what is going on with Rochdale as well. But when Rose metaphorically took my hand and took me into this other cavern that showed me all the different names in black and white there, that made me think, you know, I'm still covering Knollview, still cover Rochdale, still cover what Pag's doing. And that is important to me, just as important as the other issues as covered. But my God, if people will not see that this is of such a industrial level and has been. Now, if you look at victims, people have always give an estimate on the Muslim grooming gang victims, which is still going on. So that number can never fully be estimated because it grows by the hour, I guess. Imagine these numbers. Imagine the numbers. Was that Rose Hill I just seen there? It might not have been. Yeah, there it is. Oh, there's a Rose Hill marking Arbor. So there's different Lincolnshire. Imagine the numbers, guys. Elm. Oh, you know, there's just so many. And imagine the souls. Imagine the people. Imagine the people that have not got a voice. Have they had a voice? How have they been able to live their life moving forward? I'll shut up now, obviously. Hold on. Whoa, where's that go? Oh, Jesus. No, I don't want that. Where was that comment? Right, I'll shut up now. I'll shut up now. Obviously, I'm going against the narrative somewhat. Want to push. What's that about? What's going on, Taskmaster? Why do you say that in the comment section? Is there some little jostling going on here? Is there some kind of verbal slapping going on? Is this a slapping party? Shall I put some music on for this slapping party? What's happening? Some idiots. Who's the idiot? The same message just keeps flashing up. I don't know why. I'm just not getting any new recoil of messages. It's the same 3 messages that's just constantly coming up. So I don't know what that means. So we've got no view there. Look, you know, so you look at no view right in the list of all that. Now, to me, my next couple of uploads is going to be in regards to no view. So you could argue, looking at my channel, no view, Cambridge House, Rochdale is the centre of my world. And it is, because that's all I've physically got time for. And that's the one I'm probably more researched in than others. But fucking hell, pardon my French, you look at all these and it just brings it all back, as if to say, that's just one of many. Talk about a drop in the ocean. I've not heard of some of these. There's a Manchester one there, Ingledene. And I've still got the same 3 comments that are just flashing up. So I don't know what's going on there, guys. I'd love to say, tell me in the comments, but I'm only going to get the same 3 comments, aren't I? Look at this. Crumpsell. Is it because I've... Right, here we go. No nonsense existed in England before immigration. Are you serious? What the hell? Have I missed something here? What? What's it? What? I don't know. What's going on here? What's going on here? I'm not sure anyone in this chat who is of sound mind and rational thinking is going to put out a comment suggesting that abuse only started when immigration came. Really? Come on. I don't know. I'm assuming that's the point you're making, Taskmaster. Steve did. Who's Steve? Come on, Steve. What are you saying, Steve? Where's Steve? Great Brit alluded to it. Great Britain knows all about the abuse all over being done by white people as well as people of a darker complexion. He knows that. So Great Britain is the type of guy that has helped and supported me. Phil, I'm as lost as you. I'm sorry, unless I've missed something here. Is this, I don't know. I find it intriguing the level of trolls. Right, okay, so he's a troll just throwing out shit. Oh, come on, dude. We're trying to talk about abuse here and you're stifling and just throwing out little scud bombs in comment sections. No one needs it. We all want to get to the bottom of this shit. And let's look at it this way. I don't know whether you're a troll, Taskmaster, and if you want to just spit your dummy out, it's up to you. But you know what I mean? You're kind of throwing out insinuations there, and I'm not seeing any evidence to suggest that what you're saying is true. And when I say that, in terms of the comments that I've seen, and in terms of the people that you're throwing the allegations against, you know, Great Brit is my moderator. So I've had lengthy conversations with Great Brit. I kind of know where he's coming from. So I don't know whether you've misconstrued or indeed whether someone has specifically said that. If they've specifically said that, then I can't stop that. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't feel that. And I think most rational people on here know that abuse happens to all types of people and it's perpetrated by all types of people as well. Yeah, so anyway, I said immigration was never wanted. All surveys since I began. The immigration gang, the migrant gangs are a consequence of ignoring. Oh, for fuck's sake! Why are we going here now? Look, we're throwing in dirt bombs, aren't we? And when we do this, we end up with this little kind of semantical word slap fights. Right, hold on. I said immigration was never wanted. Well, who says that? Is that your opinion, Steve Stringfellow? Because I know you come out with some bullshit, so you're some kind of troll straight off the bat. Because I know the shit that you come out with every time I've pushed the NF button, or any time I've pushed the Jews don't run everything button. You know what I mean? So, mate, it's up to you. You're more than welcome on this chat, but I know what's in your heart, my friend. So I don't even have to answer you. I know where you're coming from. You're a pretty angry fellow. So really, people like you on here is only fucking up the streams. And all my subbers that are on here that just want to talk about things see you, and I see you. Oh, for God's sake! So you talk about abuse now. You know, this is partly. I'll say this. I will say this personally. Without going into too much of these conversations and your thoughts and the way you express your thoughts with words, what I will say is, when I look at some comments in the comment section, in a way, it makes me think there's no surprise why people think that some elements within this movement are becoming a gateway to darker feelings. That is my personal opinion, and I've spoken to many people that have said exactly the same thing. It's only kind of backed up when you get people that jump in and act like this within the comment section. You've stalled the actual stream moving forward for several minutes. You get multiple people then getting into this ideology kind of semantical battle when we all know right from wrong. We all know there's good and bad in everyone. We all know immigration, whether you like it or not, is happening. We all know there's good elements of immigration. We all know there's bad elements of immigration. And this is getting really boring, where people just throw out almost kind of bitter and hateful tones in their comments. They might have points to their argument, but the way they put it out vocally, it makes you sound like you've got a fucking problem. So what I'm saying is, when I'm talking about one issue, i.e. the abuse, sexual abuse, historic abuse, not trying to say that this is the biggest problem. I'm trying to say, look at it, look at how big it actually is. So for all intents and purposes, I'm saying, look at this apple. Now, what you guys are doing, some of these on here, they're going, well, look at this orange. And I'm going, well, I'm not talking about fucking oranges. I'm talking about apples. But you can see, because you only want to talk about oranges, then not only to a degree, there's not a lot I can say to you, but to a degree from the external, when other people who don't have anything to do with this movement look at you and look at your texts, they will read what you're all about. They will read between the lines and think, I don't know whether that's a guy whether I would have a drink with in a pub. I don't know whether that's the guy I would like to marry my daughter, but maybe there's more and more of you growing. Who knows? I might be talking crap here now. The movement is riddled with people like that, Phil. They think, and it went off. Yes, it is, and I'm acknowledging that, mate, and I'm not scared of it. In fact, this is probably the first time where I'm not triggering and I'm not going mad at people. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. And I'm going to, in a way, tell you the effects of what you're doing. You've closed this movement down, people like this. You've stopped all kind of legitimate speech being able to happen online because of attitudes like this. People get banned because of people that are coming out with attitudes like this. You've got fair centrist people that want this fucking argument talking about, whether it be sexual abuse or grooming. They want it talked about, but with attitudes like this that come on this chat, you're killing it. So then they get tarred with your brush, they get called the racist, and that's the kind of where we're at. And it's stupid. What if you have a barrel of apples? These apples said, oh, God's sake, right. These apples said, I don't want oranges in here, but you put in oranges anyway, and a lot of those oranges, what? So you want to talk about mixing things together when they don't mix? Well, you're talking about your opinion, as in your opinion to say, which you've got a right of, that you don't want oranges and apples to mix. Let's use that analogy. There's plenty of reasons why oranges and apples work fucking beautifully together. There's plenty of nice juices you can make mixing different fruits together. Do we all go, you know what, I'm not going to have that blackcurrant and apple because I don't want blackcurrant and apple. I only want apple, and that is all I ever want. I'm not that shallow. I'm not that fickle. I like all types of people. I like all types of fruit. So that is an argument that I can't really answer. If that is the way you feel, if you feel that oranges and frigging apples don't mix, what about pears? We can't forget the pears. But if we mention bananas, that is going to have a racial tone to it. It is crazy. I don't even know why people feel that way. I can understand with certain crimes that are attributed to certain ethnicities, why they build up a picture of that. I can understand why when you're walking around your towns and cities and you don't feel like it's your country anymore, you can feel like that. I can understand on so many different levels. So I'm not going lefty, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. You have got a legitimate right in at least having an opinion on that. But then to almost go, well, this has gone too much, so get everyone out, and no one ever wanted immigration. I mean, it's not really right, and it's not accurate. You know what I mean? It's just not. But I don't really want to go into that too much, because guess what? I'm talking about the systematic abuse to people, human beings. I actually didn't start this on a race or whatever. I was trying to talk about this in terms of the movement tends to concentrate on just Muslims a lot. It's moved over to a little bit of abuse on other levels, and quite rightly so. But all I'm saying in this is, look at how big this is. When you really look at it, never mind Knoll View, Cambridge House, it's going on all over the bleeding place. You know. Right. It's loads. Right, so I've been on that one for long enough. This one is Scotland. Same again. Thank you to Rose English. Now, this is all simple information that once you give me the link, I literally went onto my computer and it's just there. It's solicitors' websites that, appealing. And what that is there, that is a map. Well, let me read what it says. Below is a map indicating where our clients suffered historic abuse. You can use the search bar to locate and place historic abuse. So you can say it's just like your normal Google. You tap on any of them. Hold on, where am I? You tap on any of them, and it'll just give you the exact location, all that kind of stuff. And then it just runs through some of the places. Some of them are closed now, it looks like. But You know, don't give an indication to years. Look at it. Look at that. So I'm sorry if people just want to go on, and I agree, grooming is fucking horrible. The thought of it, the thought of anyone being radicalized enough to think of a lady as a white slag, as a kuffar, and then for that denigrating them, disrespecting them. But then I think that person's just dark anyway. They're probably dark within their own culture. They're probably dark within Muslim fucking females anyway. So then I'm not going to turn that into a racist element. I'm going to turn that into, you're just a dark motherfucker element. So when you look at it like that, I tend to look at it and go, well, look at anyone. Black, white, Asian, Hindu, fucking Sikh, whatever. Whatever. Dark is dark. I'm not going to then go, well, you know what? Because they've got that skin colour and because they've done that certain crime. No. And at the same time, I'm not defending or mitigating any of them. Fucking any of them. But I'm not as dark just to go, well, you know. And everyone's got a right to say, well, my beef in the world is Muslim grooming gangs. But to a degree, you're not being really balanced and honest with yourself if that's all you're asked about. You know what I mean? That's my opinion, but what can I say? Not everyone agrees with it. Hey up, Taskmaster, you're being ridiculous. Are you really suggesting there's no native English and Scots? Oh, for God's sake, where's this going? You know what I mean? You know what I think we should do? And I've been thinking about this, and I've been meaning to say it, and I always forget to say it on streams. I think we should cut out the comments because some people may be just a little bit too heated and it's all getting a little bit crazy. Why don't we have dance-offs? Instead of you standing there and stay on topic, guys. Yes, Great Brit. Why don't we just have dance-offs, you know, like in breakdancing, where you do a little bit of body popping and then you're standing and you're kind of fronting. Why don't we do a bit of that? Let's get one big fucking line somewhere in the middle of London. You could even extend this. What's the question? No, what the question is how big is the actual problem that we're facing of abuse within sexual exploitation, sexual historic crimes? And even though you've got elements of YouTube and plenty of other places that highlight in certain abuse in individual cities, you know, I just like, what? You look at that, that's just Scotland. Was it Scotland? This one's, yeah, it's still Scotland, you know? So all I'm saying is just look at the scope of it. I'm not trying to enlighten anyone more than, they don't realise it's already going on. I think that's what you were alluding to. I'm hoping that was what you were alluding to anyway. So yes. Yeah, I'm Violet. Gradual immigration, no problem. Large numbers sweeping in is, of course it is. Of course it is. And that goes with anything. Even if I look at it and go, well, in this country, then people will go, well, you know, are you a bit of a bigot? You know, no, because what I'm sure this lady, I'm sure it's a lady with a name, the avatar like that, and I possibly agree with, is that bad immigration, too much immigration in any country, a load of Brits just going over and hitting another country is not a good idea. I wouldn't say that. A healthy transaction of people all over the globe is a fucking beautiful idea. And regardless, you ain't going to stop that, because regardless, whether you like it or not, it does make sense to have elements from different countries going to other countries. It's a beautiful idea. What it will import, I agree. You've got to look at the social aspects of that. You've got to be able to call out the social aspects of that. You know what I mean? So I've got no problem with that. Someone asked me what your channel is all about. Too hard for me to explain. Oh, Jesus. What is my channel all about? My channel is all about a journey. I was called a Nazi when I was pretty woke up. I could see certain elements that was wrong in life. At that point, I was woke up enough to realize racism for me is a false construct. The only thing that makes it real is other people. So once you have that idea, it was like a light bulb. It was like someone cleared the attic in my attic, in my house. I just had so much room. I seen everything differently. World events I was starting to analyze and look at. I'm seeing all other elements of how we're being kind of done over as human beings, never mind your demographic. And I guess it all started with that, you're a Nazi, and the traitor to your own sort, and I'm a dickhead and all the rest of it. And that started me on a journey to look at this and think, right, why is everyone being called Nazi? Because it seemed a legitimate point. And I still feel that nothing has changed. However, psychologically, there's been spikes within this movement, which I've spoke about openly on several occasions, and I've received all kinds of shit. And people are witnessing it now on a daily basis with the little fights, the little backbiting, the little people kind of splintering off, how angry them splinter groups are becoming, how selfish and all kinds of other stuff, the amount of money that's being taken and nothing's really being done. There's all manner of different elements. So it's kind of brought me to a position where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep the channel open. I'm going to try and keep it real in terms of wanting to genuinely help people. I'm not particularly qualified at it, but I've got heart, and you know, I don't get any money for this. Anything I do is free of charge. Any videos I'm making, I don't get anything. I've got no current kind of wage or income coming in for this. It's just the sheer love of doing it. In all honesty, if it wasn't for the really good subbers and the level of support of really nice people I know deep down on this channel, and people who phone me constantly, and the fact that I'm working with PAG and other organisations like Maria's and other organisations that I thoroughly hear about that are doing positive work. In terms of the movement, in terms of everything that had happened, in terms of the way the movement is, in terms of the way I see the movement moving in the future, I will tell you now, hand on heart, I would have given it up. I would have stopped this shit, gone on my decks, gone back to doing what I'm doing, gone back to just self-informing myself. One, I don't need it. Two, it's an explosion waiting to happen. Three, you can lead a horse to water, but there ain't no way you're making it drink. And that's pretty much where I'm at. And that's what this channel is all about. In terms of what I will put on the channel, same again, mainly abuse. There'll be a little bit of parody if I get time. There'll be one or two elements in terms of Brexit. I'm going to London on the 31st, so I'm going to cover that. But in terms of marches, well, I don't know, unless something really kind of sticks out, I'm going to kind of stay away. Yes, Tracer. No, I'm not giving up, not giving up. It's re-diversifying. That's what it is. There's been ups and downs with this channel, and it's learning and just remorphing as I'm learning. And it's realising the fucking dark elements that are within it. And I'm more of a lighty person, and there's plenty of people that are freaking beautiful people on here that I've got their back, seriously. And I will never, ever do videos saying this movement is racist, this movement is, but I will have to honestly say there are elements within it, and them elements are getting a crazier voice and getting louder, and there are racist elements that are just, in a way, don't have to do anything at this moment in time, because people are getting so frustrated that it's almost having that effect where they're being drawn to that vortex of darkness. That's what I honestly feel, whether I'm right or not, but almost to say that everyone is, no, not everyone at all. I think there's a lot of people, a fucking lot of people, pardon my French, that feel exactly the way I do. I'm not the only one. I can't be the only one. There's no such thing as an original thought, to quote Roxanne, the global denier. There's no such thing, and I'm not going to say it. I know there's plenty of people on here. I'm still struggling to articulate it properly, but at the same time, I'm finding it even harder to articulate what the fuck is going on in the movement. And I don't know whether you guys can. If you can crystallize it better than me, go for it. So that was it. It's a bit of a long rant, but that's basically what this channel's about. I'll try and do the best that I can do. I'm only one man. I don't have any money coming in, so I have got to put my family first and everything else first. But I'm slowly getting into video editing. I am enjoying the process, albeit very time consuming, but I can see the rewards. And because of that, I may kind of diversify and just start doing other little bits and bobs involved in that as well. So that's me in a nutshell. Hold on, have I touched this one? No, I've already done that. So yeah, that's me, guys. Sound bites. Freemasons. Don't forget the Freemasons, Phil. It's all over the place. Dark energy all over. I'm going to London on the 31st, Phil. Hopefully I'll bump into you there. You know what? I'm assuming another view. Is this Amanda? I'm assuming it is. I may be wrong. But if that's the case, yeah, it would be a pleasure. When will I see you again? Honestly, I'm looking forward to going down there. I'm looking forward to maybe catching up with people I haven't seen. Yes, Amanda. Yeah, look forward to it. I don't know. It's going to be massive. I hope it's going to be peaceful, but who knows? There's going to be elements of it. But I'm hoping it'll be positive and just have a buzz, catch up with people I haven't seen, probably get bollocks off some people that I haven't seen. There'll be a mixture of everything going on, but the bottom line is I'm going to just go down there, have a buzz, I'll maybe do a bit of streaming, but I know streams tend to kind of break down easy there. Where is it? I missed it. I'm not sure what you're asking, where it is, what it is in terms of the march. I guess it's just where everything normally happens. Is it Parliament Square or whatever on the 31st, Amanda? I guess that's where everyone's going to congregate in it. I don't know. People on here, march, okay, yeah. People on here will be able to verify it. I've got my ticket. I've booked it. Just need to pick the tickets up. I won't get there till about midday because it's a Friday, is it? For the mind for remember. So yeah, rapid man. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to take the day off, but the day off means peak travel on the train. So this is it. Doing all this kind of stuff costs moolah, doesn't it? So fair play to everyone who's going to pay out their own pocket, and fair play to anyone who's doing this as well, who's doing it out their own pocket. I'm not just the only one. There's plenty of people. I'd love to have people's money, but at the same time, there's an element where I'm not going to be accountable for having other people's money, because you do end up getting slapped with it somewhere down the line. And even though that ends up stifling your travel, stifling what you can actually do, in some ways that's a good thing, some ways it's a bad thing, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So anyway, guys, 31st is a Thursday, right? Okay, sorry, Great Brit. Thank you for clarifying that. It's a Thursday. So I'll be taking the Thursday off, and I'll be in work on the Friday, no doubt. I can't handle trains on a Friday. Oh, I've no idea what the journey's going to be like. It's going to be just out of peak time, so it's just a bit cheaper, but it means I don't get there till about midday, so I'm hoping I don't miss too much. But I'm assuming nothing's really going to kick off until, and when I say kick off, I mean start. I don't mean literally kick off. I freaking hope there's not. I hope not. I'm just as mad. I'm just as frustrated as all you guys, if not more, in some ways. I have to, kind of digest this, do videos on it, research it, just like a lot of people. So, I don't think anyone's got the right and the monopoly to be pissed off. We're all there. It's the way you handle it, innit? And as I've always said, I don't believe going down there on the 31st, no matter what the decision, going down there on one and being prepared to get angry, being prepared to then end up tussling with police or whoever. I don't believe that is going to be a clever thing to do. It's going to make you look bad. And don't forget, I think everyone who's going to be down there, respectful, you're always being all right. Yes, nice one. I'm assuming, right, there's 17.4 million people that voted, isn't there? And of that 17.4 million, how many of them actually go on to marches? I mean, you know what I mean? It's in the minutiae, in reality, innit? It'd be lovely to see 17.4 million. So I always think, you know what? There's an element of responsibility. There's an element of obligation that, although I've got my own independent thoughts, I am still representative of 17.4 million people who voted just like me to get the fuck out of this EU, pardon my French. So I don't want to do anything or get a headline or end up at a bloody mugshot or end up with a tag on me fucking leg, pardon my French. And some geezer in Bolton who has nothing to do with marching, but then, tar with the same brush, who's then going, what's that dickhead doing? He's now made me look like this because I voted Brexit. He's now made me look like that because I voted Brexit. And I think too much of that has been going on. But for me, that is common sense. In this movement, common sense gets you attacked. Common sense gets you trolled. And that is the weirdest shit. Yeah, same, Phil. Thanks, another view. And I know everyone, honestly, I'm not right all the time. I make bloody mistakes, and sometimes I get the wrong angle. None of us have got the right bleeding angle. Step up who's got all the right answers. Because I'll say that, you know what, I'm almost certain that you're full of it. You must be. We're all here for the same reason. We're trying to find our path, aren't we? But anyway, Phil's off on one. Guilt by association by the press. You know what, Rose? Bang on. The money. By the way, Danny Tomo was attacked by what? What? I didn't read all of that. And is that allegedly? Or what? Or is it a real beef? Danny Tomo was attacked with knives today. Looks like left-wing terrorism. Fucking hell. Did they actually... all right, Steve, at least you're coming in now with a bit more chilled mentality, mate. You're always welcome on here, but you don't have to come in there. But right, okay, so lefties, what actually attacked him, as in they got to him or just brandish knives? Did they just brandish, or was it physically, is he harmed? If sort of they've been apprehended, do people know who they are? Has anyone got them on camera? Was it filmed? You know, the usual shit. I'm always right. Another view. You know what? I'm going to leave it with this. It was yesterday. See what I mean? See how the narrative can change? It's on 2 different days now, apparently. Fuck's sake. I'm going to leave it with this, if I remember rightly. My wife's father used to always say this about himself. I'm always right, me. The only time I was wrong is when I thought I was wrong, but then I realised I was right. Now, I don't know whether you can make sense of that, but we're all wrong, aren't we, at times? That is the learning curve. And if anyone's afraid of learning, then don't rip pill, innit? You know what I mean? That's the problem when you say something on record. I do it on purpose for the trolls. They're so stupid. They trigger trolling, triggering. Maybe I should do that as a video. Trigger trolling, triggering. Anyway, I'm getting silly. I need a bath. I need to get in my Friday mode, guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope the weather kind of fares up a little bit better. It's stopped raining now. So stay positive, guys. There'll be more content coming up, particularly about No View. But all I'm saying is, look at this, all over the goddamn place. So we just got to bear that in mind, guys. So I love you all, even the pissing haters. Love you. Take care. Thank you, Great Brit. As ever, you're a freaking diamond, pal.